Hello.
Hello, guys. How are
Yeah,
you?
finally we met.
Hi, good to see you
Uh,
guys.
yeah, good to see
Yeah,
you
yeah,
back.
since the last time.
I,
It's the first
I
time.
I remember last time we were eating the same. We were doing a cross-cultural dessert during our dinner in Dubai, trying the French dessert, Italian dessert. we had a
Yeah, I like
we had
that
a
one.
good
I
time.
like the French one much more.
Yeah, pain perdu, Mohammed. Pain perdu with it.
Yeah, Damien, I've been wanting to, ask the name again of the French dessert. So thank you for sharing that, because
I'll
it
share
was
for
really
everyone.
good.
But we enjoy like mixing, so we had a good time last time.
For
We'll have to
sure,
do
for
it
sure.
again. Okay.
Interesting.
Great. So
Thank you,
we're here.
Madhur, to be back.
Yeah, thanks, the audience. We're here for this. I think it's the fourth live. Here we're today to talk with Madhu about the marketing. He's a marketing expert, all the marketing trends and all the AI going on. So we'll have this 45 minutes time together, which is going to be very insightful. Just quickly, as usual, just before starting up and jumping, we're just Cogya. We're a startup studio, one-stop shop for entrepreneurs with mobile and app development, UI UX consultancy, just to help the entrepreneurs and startups to grow from scratch to their next level. And we also have a program that we're putting in place that to help invest in some great ideas from great entrepreneurs. So that's just check out the website or whatever if you want to learn more. But let's focus on today's topic. And I want to introduce Madhur. Madhur is a great marketing expert. He'll talk about himself better than I, but we always love our talks and insightful talks in the topic that we shared and very important, which is marketing and all the trends. So Madhu, I'll let you present yourself and your expertise. You'll talk better about yourself than us.
Thanks, Damien. So yes, it's always been great discussing these topics with you, and I'm happy to be here today. Just by way of brief introduction, I've been in marketing communications for over 15 plus years now. And in the last 10 years, I have focused exclusively in the B2B technology space, worked extensively across Asia Pacific and in the EMEA region now. And really glad to be here and having this conversation with both of you. Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, and thanks. And
Thank
I'm sure it's going to be very impactful for all the audience. Yeah, going to share. So let's jump on it. So, but one of the first thing wanted to ask you, you as an expert, how do you see like AI? We know it's everywhere, but it's impacting a lot. One of the segment it's impacting is marketing. What do you see like these new technology? How does this trend is shaping like the B2B or even the B2C market right now?
Well, I know we talk a lot about AI everywhere now, including in marketing, uh, but what we need to understand, personally, I feel it's we don't need to look at it in a very linear fashion, right? So it's part of a broader trend that's happening across businesses, across our world, in terms of how we are going about conducting our lives. So AI is part of that. And personally, it's quite an interesting trend because AI is supposedly going to really transform the marketing space and transform the business space. There's research from entities like HubSpot saying that
Big one.
a lot of marketers this year plan to utilize AI close to 88%, from a survey that they did. So that kind of
80, you
explains
said it. More than 80, right? Yeah.
88%, the HubSpot survey, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And and that kind of gives you an idea, right? Like how much of expectation is there from a technology point of view. But having said that, personally, I feel how it's going to impact the marketing space per se. There are few trends that I see emerging very strongly. One is the space of hyper personalization. How you target your customers, how you reach the audience, right? So AI kind of gives you that power because uh, to really target and personalize your campaigns. So that's one big area. Voice search is another, which is going to really come up. And apart from that, the social commerce piece. It's not recent. It's been going on for some time, and it's only going to accelerate. And the other piece, which is not related to the technology side of it, and actually very closely connected, is the issue of data, right? Because AI thrives on data and the data that you feed into the system. So how are marketers going to use the data? There would be, marketers need to be really, careful in terms of planning the usage of data. There would be a trend towards giving customers more control of their data. And the other piece is related to the data, and also a general trend that we will increasingly see, and we are already seeing, is the issue of sustainability and ethical branding, right? So there's the technology side of it, and there's the impact of the technology side of it that's going to shape, how the marketing ecosystem develops.
Yeah, and on the sustainability, like you were saying, it's maybe also finding the balance of all this AI technology and going for on sustainability, how we're going to find this also balance in this new era to figure out how to mix the both in this new environment to be at the front end of the technology also. Yeah, that's that was a good point. That was a good point.
Yeah. I think I saw this as well, confirming to this point in one of the conferences I joined in Berlin last year. We were very focusing on that point, promoting the concept be more environmental, having or providing products that is eco-friendly and bio-friendly and this kind of stuff. This is making a great impact as well, I think. And on the other side, there's the conference we went in Dubai, Damien, if you remember. We had some of the experts were talking about the stream commerce part. I think this is as well a new trend that complement the whole idea of making the social commerce concept much more powerful and providing this kind of product promoting on the social media and different channels.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
nowadays you have a lot of interesting, features like shoppable posts and in-app checkouts, which is
Yeah.
accelerating the trend, right? And increasingly, more and more buyers use their social media profiles to,
Interesting.
engage in social commerce. Yeah.
Yeah, all these
Yeah.
new tools, new things that makes you like gain some time. So it will shift also the I would say the experience, the knowledge. I think it's going to push forward everyone, but you have to thing is you have to be. It's going very fast, so you have to be updated. Like the two tools you were talking about, like very quickly updated to what's happening, because otherwise the one that will be able to use it efficiently they will be in the front row. So that's why you have to. It's going to be very important for marketers to catch up with all these new trends, because they can go quicker, faster. So that means that if you go quicker, faster on some stuff, more visibility, reach more audience, do more content, this kind of all these kind of things going on.
Yeah. I might have another thought for this concept, the quick commerce concept. I joined the talk for the CEO of Delivery Hero in that conference as well. He was promoting, he was against the quick commerce, honestly, because his rationale behind this concept that the customer now or the consumers are okay to get the orders in 30 minutes. That's fine, against saving $1 or €1 per order instead of paying an extra euro or a dollar just to save extra 10 minutes. How do you see this, or how do you think this might destroy the concept of quick commerce, which a lot of startups in the MENA region and other regions got a huge amount of fund just because of this quick commerce concept? You have any
Why do
thoughts on
you,
that?
yeah, why do you think that would be problematic?
Just for the economical side. Yani I'm as a customer, do I need to pay $1 to get my order in 20 or 15 minutes, or I'm okay to wait like 30 minutes against saving this $1 or $2?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because the customer wants what the customer wants, right? So, and as marketers, that's the core of marketing will never change, right? So
Mhm.
you need to address the job to be done, right? So
Yeah.
and the need for being agile and inventive, and to increasingly cater to those demands, uh, will always be central to marketing. So I don't see that as a problem, but I do see that you know it's a very interesting trend that businesses need to address in terms of, because it's only going to accelerate, right? So yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. Nice. I think this takes us to the second point we need to get your point of view about, which is AI. I mean, now the AI is making a lot of changes in the world, and even us at Cogya, me and Damien, we've met a lot of startups from different countries and regions. They are promoting and starting to build their solutions based on the AI. So, how do you think the AI can revolute or make a revolution in the marketing side? Is it just the hype, as it's a new trend, it's a new something new for the whole people would like to use, or it really have good impact on the marketing activities, the digital transformation of the campaigns, and this kind of things related to marketing?
There's definitely a lot of hype, and marketers like hype, so there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of excitement around AI. But what is really, when I see all the conversations around AI in marketing and all the discussions, I see there's a lot of focus on the tools and tactics. But where AI has actually been transformational is in terms of making marketing more efficient, right? So that part is not that part is the boring part, right? Like, that part is not like the sexy side of a campaign, because that's where you need to do some real hard work. So in a strategy toolkit of marketers, the AI piece really helps in things like improving workflows, enhancing delivery, streamlining operations, and improving your overall efficiency, right? And AI has been really good in that. And
Mhm.
and it's part, as I said before, right? It's part of this broader trend of digitalization that we are seeing across businesses, where now there is a real digital transformation in marketing as well, right? So yes, in terms of AI being really transformational, I think it's been for some time. The fact that it's making marketing more efficient with things like data-driven insights, predictive analytics, automation, and hyper-personalization. We talked about it, right? And also the ability for marketers to now really become intelligent about their campaigns, because there's this continuous learning and adaptation and feedback loop that feeds into the campaigns, which makes it more real time, more targeted, and more efficient.
Hmm.
So that piece is very real, but when it comes to the tools and tactics, they'll come and go, but in terms of setting the whole marketing operations up and making it efficient, AI has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it's not. It's more than a hype. Yeah, you're right. So just to say, like the tools, some tools might be in a hype, but using the AI, I think it's going to be like the new. It's going to be part of our lives, like continuously. Because as you were saying, it's efficiency. It's funny because tomorrow, this morning I was having a talk with a startup founder, which they were working on an AI startup in a specific segmentation, and she was also doing the marketing. She was a CMO, and she was saying, she asked me like that. I don't know, I don't remember why in the conversation. Like, do you know Photoshop? I said, yeah, for sure, I know Photoshop. Do you know Canva? I said, yeah. So, which one do you use or you prefer? And like, she was like, I know how to use, and our team know how to use Photoshop. It goes further, but yeah, there's nothing to say about Canva. Yeah, and she was saying, yeah, but even me, I'm a specialist in design and all that. And she said, I use Canva because it's so quick. I can do so many continents with the AI, especially with the AI of a Canva. I'm not promoting Canva, but, but she was saying her topic was like using this kind versus like a Photoshop, which is very powerful, but it was taking too much of her time just to do like specific, not a strategy, but just to putting contents in place, like 3 times a week multiplied by number of clients. She was like using this kind of tool just to go fast and be efficient, and then you put your strategy on the top, and that's where the difference is. Like when I was hearing some marketers or like scared of the AI, like last year I said no, but put you at the level up, like your strategy, and then
Absolutely.
taking long time before, just use your power of the strategy and put your add-on, your specific skill. And the other thing is just like, yeah, automate and don't be scared. Use it, use it, use it. And that's where the difference is. I think it's to understand how it works, understand the tools, and then on it's like the cherry on the top. You put your real broad expertise and overall knowledge, and that will be the where the difference will be, I think.
It's You bring up a very interesting point, Damien, here, because it's the way I look at it. When AI is deployed in marketing campaigns, it's like a great example of how man and machine can work together. Like in the future, and
Hmm.
I get really excited about that because AI actually would really free up marketers. And if you ask me, in most of these teams, just setting the infrastructure up and getting the operation running requires a lot of time, effort, and investments. And what AI can do is to free up a marketer to really focus, as you rightly said, on the strategy side of things, on the creative side of things, which is going to become a lot better, right? So it's quite a positive development for sure.
Yeah, and it leads to what I was going to like ask you now. It's like what's the next what's the strategy challenge that the marketers will face now, like using this tool? Do they have like to catch up? Like, yeah, what's going to be the next challenges they have to go through with this?
There are there's some obvious challenges, and there are some not so obvious ones. First of all, when it comes to the obvious challenges, it it requires a new way of working. It requires looking at your legacy systems and transforming those, to a more modern structure. That means you'll have to integrate AI tools into the existing marketing infrastructure, which can be quite complex and challenging. It might mean that you work with the CIO, the IT guys, to make that transformation happen, and to create these really scalable, interoperable solutions, and this common data environment within an organization, right? Which will make the business overall more intelligent. Now, once you have achieved that, the technology part of it, the second piece is the people part of it, right? The technology and process is done. So now, in terms of getting your people to move and really reskilling and helping the talent to uh, to use those technologies. That's a skill gap that is quite huge right now
Yeah,
in most teams, and it's something that can only be, it only with only, time it will get better.
Mhm.
The other piece, which people do not realize is moving your marketing machinery to digital, or to even, like, integrate newer systems. It's actually quite expensive. So it's very easy to say that I'm going to run a digital campaign, using AI, but like sometimes it might be cost prohibitive, right? So you need to understand the expenses involved, and to really see how do you budget it. Is it a marketing expense, or is it an organizational expense? Because the
yeah,
org is going to benefit from it, right? So
True.
that's a discussion that marketers need to have.
yeah. Very interesting because you see like the sorry to uh because we were used like before like a lot of tools like you have this freemium model where you could use and push, but I don't know if you notice right now there's this freemium plans don't exist mostly at the time, and
Yeah.
if you want to use this
Got it.
you guys are saying it, if and even us, I with Mohammed here, we're trying to find always new tools, and now they're all paying and we have to make, and it's
Yeah.
not so cheap, and you're right, Mano, you have to check what's your budget, which one you're going to use, so there's this benchmark, I would say, to do on your expense, because it's nothing's free anymore on the tool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you're right, that's a very interesting point, and to raise like, yeah, using it, but yeah, what's the cost, which ones, and that here I'm sliding on digital transformation, maybe almost like, but remember, if you use a tool, it's not to break it in 2 months with your team, because there's the adoption of the tool and all what, so that's a very important thing. I don't know, maybe why not a next job or whatever, like I don't know, next what tools to use in the company, what's the budget of it, that's going to be a masterpiece.
Yeah. I think as well for this digital transformation concept, y- I personally faced it with my team. There were some resistance to start use and adopt to use this AI in their work. But the magic happens when we started to transform our objectives, because I see most of the people started to explore the AI tools. They were challenging the tools. They are coming with the mindset that challenge the tool and to confirm that these tools are useless and we are the people who are doing the job. But
yeah.
when the team started to convent to turn their mindset to be the validation mindset and the assessment mindset beside the learning or the educator for the AI, magic happens. Magic happens just by turning this concept in the mind.
That's a very good point, and very it's one of the reasons why actually, many digital transformations fail, because digital transformation focuses, a lot of conversations focus only on the process and technology side of it. The people component is not addressed, and
Yeah,
and by the time it is addressed, sometimes it's a little bit late, so it kind of becomes expensive. So yeah, it's thank you for sharing that example. It kind of validates this whole argument. Yeah.
yeah. That was a very great impact when the team
Yeah,
started to do this.
yeah, and then just to continue what you were saying, Manu, I think you were talking a lot about these challenges about, yeah, data, this algorithm. Here we're talking like kind of stuffs like technical, or I would say engineered, or when we say data algorithm, like we the first words in mind that probably, yeah, engineering, mathematical, these kind of things, but we don't have, and that has to be used in marketing. But remember, like, you work in marketing since so long, but the first marketers, there were not engineers, there were not mathematical, it was people that was writing well maybe, or just seeing or on the brand, and now it's shifting like all the, I think, tell me what you think about that, but it's all the this job, all the marketers will have to have this touch, like this mathematical data driven touch, like to do all these calculation KPIs and all that, and that's something that will just go more and more. So the job or is shifting, I think, and some of them might be tough to follow up, but that's for sure. Marketing will be driven by all that, and you have to do. So what do you see that happening, or do you see like in the organization some are struggling having this shift?
Well, these are early days, for it, especially for really large organizations. It's a big change, and there is this struggle for sure, because in terms of just having that mindset, right? Like it's not an issue so much of being able to master those skills, but having that mindset, that way of thinking, that it's that this is how I'm going to use these particular tools to mine these information to create impact, business impact. That mindset requires some work. And so when it comes to algorithmic bias, and in terms of as you said, like that is always a challenge right now, because AI algorithms are susceptible to bias, because we recently had this really big incident, right, with Google's AI tool, where it was in the news all over, right? So understanding that bit is becoming important for marketers, the technology side of it, how it happens, how it works, and how it can potentially impact campaign, and how it's going to eventually impact the brand. So there have been a lot of talks about how sales and marketing need to come closer. But with this whole technology piece coming to the forefront, what's becoming really interesting is that how marketing is now getting pushed into the center of things, as the custodian of data, as the custodian of all the tools, that has this great intelligence from which sales and the other teams, customer experience, customer success, will draw their intelligence from, right? So yeah, I mean, it always helps to build that muscle. It's not required, but as teams build that muscle, I think you're right. It's going to become a must-have.
Yeah,
Especially from a strategy
Yeah,
point of view.
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
interesting. I think moving from the traditional marketing to the digital marketing, or the digital transformation era of for marketing, using AI, or even just using s- very typical and regular digital things. Why still marketing focus on the five sense remain crucial for marketing, and how we can leverage this in the era of digital live or AI live?
This is a very good question, actually. Because when you look at marketing, we should. I mentioned this before. We should not look at it from the point of view of purely digital alone, because marketing is, the core of marketing is not going to change, right? It's the core of marketing would essentially remain the same across sectors. And what any campaign would eventually would need to address the job to be done, what the customer wants, right? And no matter how much of technology you deploy, how much of tools and tactics you use, if you do not get the job to be done correct or right, on point, your campaign is not going to work. And so that's why those human experiences, human emotions, and would always remain central to a marketing campaigns. And tools nowadays can help you create it, right? Be it a sonic identity, or like a haptic feedback mechanism, or like more interactive experiences using AR and VR. Those are, as we discussed before, right? Those are tools and tactics, but the core
Yeah.
remains at the human
Same.
emotions and experiences, right? So yeah.
yeah. Always like I read that from it was one of the Seth Godin was saying, as you were saying, you must have, like, as you were saying, all the best tactics and all that. He was focusing, and you can still use the best tools and all that. And then, for example, if you do a direct marketing, even if it's using the latest technology, and you have like a 30% opening rate, like a 4% click and all that, that means that the job to be done before has not been right. And that Godin said he was focusing on the job to be done, his good ICP, uh, his good persona, and then he was focusing on trying to get like this 80% opening rate, 80% clicks. And this is where marketing just magic happens, because if you have like great traction, if you've done this strategy very well, then the people are your just in your funnel, in your I know you're I'm jumping. I know when I talk to funnel, you like this infinite funnel. Madhu, that's a theory you have. I was saying funnel, but they're there to get and then it's easier to convert after. But there's this work where AI can help, but as you were saying, if this done to be done is not done by right now, well, from getting all the data, all the things you can, and from an expert, the best tools will not get you the best results.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very well said. Yes.
I think as well this could be the the misconception of the rule of the marketing in organizations, because still till now I see people are considering marketing like the promotional thing or the advertising thing. However, marketing is very important for the product building itself or the pricing as well. And even the question when we ask how can we price a product correctly, that's a question for the marketing team, not for the sales team.
That's,
Completely. I completely agree with you on that. It's very important for marketers to have a seat on the table, because the amount of insights that come from the marketing teams can really help in terms of making product decisions and pricing decisions. And the FMCG companies do it quite well, actually, because they have a very strong marketing machinery. They are completely driven by their marketing
Yeah.
machineries, right? But it's not pervasive. And the fact that you need to look at marketing as a very strategic function that can
yeah.
completely
Yeah.
transform the business. I think uh, that urgency to sell
Hmm.
versus the urgency to build a business are two different things. So
Hmm.
uh, and I think that shift marketers can help businesses to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, guys. When you I like because when you put it like sales and marketing, this is like a voice to be heard, and like sometimes like as you were saying, like we're some companies or whatever, like they're underrating the marketing, and then all the things are on the sales guy. Oh, it's the sales guy that's all. But hey,
Yeah.
without this marketing, you're they can do nothing. So it's all
Yeah.
the marketing that just give them the value. But I think that I want to spread the word, like the marketing. I think they should like all the marketing and all that, like raise up and be at the same level, because not all the rewards are on the sales teams. Even if yes, but if the marketing is not well prepared, they can sell nothing or
Yeah, that's
be
100% true.
as much efficient. So I'm putting the market is up, so big up for the
Thank
marketers.
you.
Yeah. That's that's building of your point, Major. That the FMCG, one of the very strong industries that rely on marketing. I remember when I was working for market research agencies, there was huge budgets invested in the market research, just to help the marketing teams across those companies across the whole region to put a proper campaign for their like season campaigns. It's 1 month campaign, and they do a lot of research during like 3 to 4 months to be very well prepared for just a 1 month thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and their operation, and that's why they are like one of the in terms of complexity of operations, in terms of adoption, and in terms of
Mm.
also showing the path, right? Those companies do a pretty good job, most of the time.
Yeah, the big.
Yeah,
It was
that's
good.
true.
That's a topic we can talk next time. I will take like sales versus or sales and marketing. I think it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
I
Hopefully,
will be there. I
Have
will
a
be here to
fight.
get someone else.
hopefully. Okay, we'll come back to Dubai, Manu. We'll have a dessert before and just talk about just that, and then we do the live. Otherwise, we're going to. But I think it can be a hot topic. A lot of things to say or spread.
Yeah.
Uh, just to come back on these stuff, like there's this big word like, oh, we're scared of AI, it's going to lose this authenticity. I heard a lot of copywriters and all that, oh, but they don't have my tone of voice. uh, it's going to everyone's going to sell or market the same thing. We're going to lose this authenticity. So how can still you can find this balance using it and still craft a genuine brand or connections. So what do you, yeah, what do you how do you see like this authenticity, how to use it? Will it be because uh we see a lot of like when you ask like chat GPT or whatever. Now I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of emails start like that, hope this mail finds you well or thrive. We know that comes from chat GPT. So now how can you like in the branding and all that, how you can keep that authenticity specific to the companies?
This is a very interesting question, because you know it has an ethical component to it. As marketers, you need to be kind of be aware of this. Along with data, the authenticity piece is going to be a big one in the future. But this brings us back to strategy, right?
Mhm.
So the quest for marketing, any marketer, is to win the customer's trust or his loyalty or his or her loyalty, right? So authenticity is really important, and to build those connections and those relationships. Now we also know that there have been research by firms like Edelman that shows that trust in institutions is gradually going down over the period of last few years, and businesses included. So government, businesses, media, there's a erosion of trust. So so we are in that environment, and what's happening in this environment is the accelerated adoption of AI, right? So that is not going to go away.
No.
So you cannot wish that, okay, to stay more authentic, I'm not going to use AI. So what do you do? So I think the marketing leadership needs to take a step back here, and really define for their businesses what does authenticity mean to their organizations or to them, right? And that should be reflected very accurately in their channels, in their messaging, in their positioning, and in also in how they approach their campaigns, their mission statement, and day-to-day operations, right?
Okay.
And once that piece is sorted out, and there's a clear understanding that this is how we are going to approach the market or our customers, that is when that piece needs to be integrated into your AI strategy for campaigns, right? So that you help maintain your differentiation, also not losing customers' trust while using the power of AI altogether, right? So it's a very nuanced sort of a answer, because honestly, I think I personally feel that in the next couple of years we're going to see a lot of sameness till the time, in campaigns, in messaging, in tactics, in how people show up, how companies show up. But that's going to eventually become better. But like, these are early days, and I think we're going to see a little bit of that inauthentic sort of messaging and campaigns. But that's the way to resolve it. To approach it from a very strategic point of view.
If I get what you, yeah, if I think that what you're saying, like if you like all the same, and I think if you know how to use it well and go back on the basics, as you were saying, your vision statement very clear, and use it to streamline, I think that's where companies can use like a competitive advantage here. Instead of like doing like everyone, we work very well, we go back to the basics. What's our mission, vision statements? With a lot of them, like, okay, I think I have a vision statement, it's this, but go deeply in it, very be clear on it, be part of everything. And that's where the companies, I think they will have at least the coming years have a big competitive advantage on their marketing side. Like that's how they will still use AI on that. But still, if they work very closely on that, that's where they can be different and really leverage it and keep it. Yeah.
Right, and that's a very good summation. And I personally feel, it's my opinion that there will be a big focus on the brand, because that's where all of these come together, and being able to achieve that will help the companies, overcome this challenge of being not authentic, right? So
Interesting. I think this, building on what you just said, the building a brand, it's not an easy thing to do, and it takes a long time. But considering the current economical circumstances for different companies in different regions. What do you prefer and promote in such downtime of economy? Is it still building brands, or we might more giving more attention to the performance marketing, or there's a successful formula to do both and have the balance? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a classic marketer's dilemma, and I think I
You
think in the recent
have 30
years,
seconds to answer it, Madhu.
no, this thing really gets me going actually, because I have a lot of experience in brand marketing, and so I might sound a little bit biased, but the point is, let's look what happened, right? So the trend in performance marketing came up really strongly with the internet economy, right, where it was quite possible to measure success from a campaign when you can attribute it very clearly to an ad, right? Like, so that, okay, this ad generated this much sales, and it seems to be the sensible thing to do. Like, I mean, I'm getting revenues out of it, so I'll spend more money here. So recently there have been a trend towards uh, putting more marketing budgets towards performance marketing, but it's actually it's not that simple. It's a classic question of where does the business want to focus, right? From a is it a long term, are we taking a long term goal, or are we taking a short term sort of an
Mhm.
approach? So that is essentially your question, right? But
Yeah.
businesses could end up spending more money if they are ignoring the brand piece, because as we discussed right now, the whole issue of authenticity, right? What performance marketing does is it creates a lot of homogenization. There's this, every ad and every content piece, and looks very similar. You look at Amazon, you open Amazon and see how similar most of the product ads are, right? And
Mhm.
when it's becoming so competitive, when it's so noisy, the only way you can stand out is through a very strong differentiated brand, and performance marketing doesn't give you that differentiation, right? So there's a case for brand there, but it's a long-term play. And what that means is that a differentiated brand will give you more loyalty from your customers, and as more recall. They have less recall for substitutes in customers' mind. Say, for example, if I just uh, you know just pop a question, like, if you think of soda, what is it? Most people would either be Coke, Pepsi, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
And that gives you greater price flexibility and bigger control over the market. So, and that's a long term play, but it's not a if and it's not a binary choice, right? So what companies need to understand is that performance marketing also has its benefits in terms of the data it generates, the campaign intelligence that comes through it, which can really help the brand teams to make their own campaigns better, right? So it's a discussion that companies need to have. But if you're doing, I'd say that if it's a either or sort of a decision for you, I think there's a problem. So you need to understand. I'll give you an example. Recent experience where we had uh, you know uh, we were working with a team that was focusing a lot on their performance metrics, on their performance campaigns, a lot of investments in digital. But when we looked at the search volume of the company, it was actually going down compared to its competition.
Mhm.
So that is a brand issue. The
Yeah.
audience are not searching for you, even though you're running like really strong performance campaigns, right? So that is if impacting your performance
Yeah,
campaign.
that
So
means that their brand is not so strong to organically do the job, do the work, and they have to put
Yeah.
this performance marketing, and then it has a result. But if you stop it, what happens?
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah,
Very true. I think this happens as well. I know a very famous case in the region. There was the one of the fintech companies. This was like 10 years ago. One of the fintech companies, they were starting to penetrate in the market very slowly and very smoothly, but they don't have this exponential growth suddenly. Another external player came from an external country to our country, but the great thing what happens to the local players, that those people were investing a lot on the marketing side, but they didn't have the capacity to satisfy the market needs and the operational need. What happens? They did a free marketing for the competitor, which is a local player, because the
Yes.
customer started to look at
Yeah,
other fintech providers, and they found the local player who built the base in the country and has the credibility and the brand, but he didn't spend much on the marketing like the other player.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
happens.
yeah, that
And
can, yeah,
this other player he's out of the market now, and the local player is one of the unicorn in the region.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing that was dangerous is if you put everything on performance, when that's what I was saying. If you stop it, and for example, you don't have any cash flow, we're talking like
True.
and all that, what happened? But your brand can give you like the customer acquisition cost with a strong branding is the best one because it goes organically. You drive traction, and you found the thing, and it's the one. So maybe it can like boost or help the performance marketing, but if at the same
Yeah.
time you did not do you correctly your brand strategy, when you stop it, everything shrinks down. So it's very dangerous, you're right, to
Totally agree.
just focus on the, yeah, on this as you were saying, this dilemma.
Yeah. So as I said before, right? What do marketers, try to accomplish? It's not just sell a product. It's to build
Mhm.
trust. It's to build a relationship. It's to build loyalty. These are very universal values. With a little bit of emotional side to it, right? So, and performance is highly transactional.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
and customers don't like to be treated like a number. There's actually Salesforce data that they did a research, and they found, they surveyed customers, and they found that nearly 80%, 80 plus percent of their customers didn't want to be treated like a number. They want to be treated like a person, right? So
Mhm.
what does a person want? I don't want you to kind of just I want you to build a relationship with me, right? That's how human societies run. And that's where I think the brand comes into play, right? So compared to performance.
yeah,
Interesting.
you're right. And you're right, huh? I don't know if you saw, it's not digital, but I don't know if you saw the trend in the US, like this brand that came up, like it's a that's liquid that had a valuation of 1.4 billion. It's because they're just putting like there's a lot of attraction about energy drinks and all that with non-alcoholic drinks, and they were segmenting like the people that goes like hardcore, like extreme sport riders, people that go at hard rock, like like Metallica fans and all that. They're kind of with the like the all these kind of environment, and they put it a can with all this like very aggressive, like with the with the with the head and the bulls and all that, and inside it was just water, just like imagining, because they didn't want to drink like beers and the kind of thing, but the brand was for them. And inside it, but I'm still like a strong man, I'm like, I drink beer, but inside it's not, because people doesn't want to, it's decreasing the drink of alcoholic stuffs and all that. And this brand is huge, and they just got valuated 1.4, just working on the job to be done for this kind of people. And inside it's just like a strawberry drink, but on the outside all the branding shows like, oh, I'm a tough guy. And this brand is yeah, but it just has been valued at 1.4 billion just on the
Wow.
this branding. And they don't have to put like this performance marketing, because they're talking to these people, and the
Mhm.
brand is for these people, and it just it's just huge. Yeah,
Yeah, the pride to be associated with one,
yeah.
right? So that's another emotion, right? So yeah, it's very interesting. I looked that up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
Look at it. It's, I think it's liquid. Yeah, liquid death. I think the name. Like, yeah, yeah. But inside, it just they're just drinking a strawberry water. Yeah, you have to check at it. The audience to just to know it. Yeah.
you.
Uh, yeah. One thing that once you time is flying, but there's a when we talk about AI, and even we used it, and about the all this strategy from SEO with the copywriters that was writing like these long articles, 1,000 words that Google needed. Now AI, if you do it and you use the right script, you can like put high SEO contents here. So how, instead of being scared, how do you think like marketers have to be prepared for it? And do you think like all the search engine will like block the AI around that on the SEO part, because AI is affecting a lot of SEO for sure on the
I
trend.
think AI is going to impact search in a big way because of just because of the technological capabilities that it has, right? It brings, it's more power for marketers actually, but I think what marketers need to do is to really approach SEO or search from a user-centric point of view, right? Like and take a more holistic approach to it, because there are a lot of trends right now in search which actually is very interesting. Like if you look at something like rank brain, right? They're looking at building a semantic understanding and contextual relevance of searches. So they are prioritizing that over keywords. And so what that means is that the traditional tactic of focusing on keywords may not be effective anymore, right? So there's also the now we have all those proliferation of voice assistants and voice activated devices, right? So voice search is going to become quite big, and I think it's already is, like it's already kind of growing leaps and bounds. And there would be a lot of natural language processing capabilities that will come into the search engines, and so marketers need to optimize the keywords for conversational queries, long tail keywords and things like that, and this the third piece, which I think is the more interesting piece, is and I don't know how, I think it might become like a an opportunity and also a challenge, is highly personalized search results, right? Where individual user preferences, their browsing history, their demography, and those would become more and more prevalent. And what that would mean is that search rankings would vary from one user to another for in one market, say for example, right? And that will make it very difficult for marketers to really predict and optimize the SEO for specific rankings. Then also, of course, as we discussed before, the changes are quite rapid in terms of the algorithms. So marketers need to be really on top of the game. But SEO is going to be, I think, one of the first that's going to really change.
Highly impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even as you were saying, like the voice search, what's going to be behind? You said something very interesting about the long tail keywords. We're not just going to focus on that, because AI will be able to analyze also these long tail keywords, put it in conversational. So yeah, the SEO will, yeah, up to date really closely to that. Thanks for these really new trends, because I think maybe not everyone like are up to date on that, but it's very important to catch it up on it. Like, and the old SEO that before, it's going so fast. It's not going to be so easy, but it's going to be a masterpiece.
Yeah, and if you look at search, right, it's so pervasive. Can you imagine your life without search? Can you even think of how many times did you, like, just count how many times did you search today? For, like, it's so much a part of human behavior now.
Yeah,
It's it's
it's
in,
even
integral.
you think something, you search. You
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Y- Remember, like some long time ago, when I was working on my master's like 15 years ago, when I was looking for like a thesis or an article written or something. I was just traveling and moving from my university to another university very long away, because this publishment was not published online. Now anything you can find on online by just tapping on your keyboard, and will find anything.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's going to be impacted like the fastest, quickest, and like and the most, because it's so integral to human behavior, and that's why it's so critical for marketing, right? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. So and I think we covered part of how the AI can impact the marketing, but how do you think the AI can enhance what we call the account-based marketing, and how this can be utilized effectively? Because this is not an easy thing for anyone to use or even to focus on, because it's very niche and very focused for a very specific, not a niche, it's just customer or a segment or even an account or a company. Can AI help with this or optimizing such critical and added value? I see it very adding value, honestly, especially when we're targeting huge accounts or big businesses with some of the sophisticated type of products we're trying to provide.
Yeah, I think ABM and AI, the combination of both is going to be really powerful for
Mm,
enterprise businesses. Because if you look at it, they're quite complementary to each other. In terms of, though AI is a tool and ABM is more like a strategy and a tactic, but
yeah.
uh, you know what both ABM and AI essentially rely on data to target
Mm,
effectively, right? And ABM looks for detailed knowledge about specific accounts or your key customers, right? And AI makes it possible for account-based marketer to quickly analyze the data and provide the insights that can build like really personalized campaigns, right? And nowadays we have platforms like Sixth Sense, which uses AI to predict buyer behaviors and pinpoint, the optimal target accounts for to a marketer. So number one, in terms of data-driven precision, I think AI is going to really enhance that capability of
mm,
ABM. In terms of prospecting,
Yeah.
by crunching that data for account-based marketers, AI will be able to identify accounts with the highest potential for success, right? So your efficiency of your marketing efforts goes up, and those
For
kind of
driving,
tools are,
for
yeah,
driving decisions.
exactly. And it's already there. Like, a tool like Salesforce, for example, has the Einstein key account identification, which really helps you identify where you need to put your focus on. And and the last piece, like AI does for all other marketers, the personalization piece. It can create your engagement more personalized by analyzing those individual behaviors and customer preferences, right? And so your ABM campaigns become really relevant, to the person who is receiving it, right? So, and the overall interaction becomes more meaningful. So there's this actually, a great opportunity for enterprises to really strengthen their relationships with their existing accounts using AI.
interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be powerful. It's a big thing. The ABM. It's more for the companies, but that's kind of a niche, as you were saying. But it's going to be same thing. It can cover a lot of stuff. Uh, Time is running. Just to a last one, and not the least, before taking some Q&As. What's for you, Madhu? What's for you the next marketing mix? So we know the 4 Ps: placement, pricing, persona, 7 Ps. There's even the 12 Ps.
Well,
But
please.
yeah, but what's for you? What's for you? This one is for you. Yeah. What is the next marketing mix? Will it stay the same? Will it like disrupt, or what do you think? Or invent yours, Madhu? You can come up with your model. What's this
I
one is
can
for
tell you, you forgot the four E's.
the four
Ease.
E's.
Four E's, yeah, yeah. The E, experience every
Yeah,
place.
E's. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But but yeah, good question. So I think it's. I think we discussed it in the last hour. In all our during our conversation is that let's. I personally feel that we should not get wedded to one of those frameworks. I know it's important. At the end of the day, it's a framework to look into your strategy. But what is more important is to understand that the core of marketing across sectors, I'd like to reiterate, as I've been saying this all over, is remains the same, right? What is happening right now is the context is changing and the complexities are increasing. and there's a tremendous complexity in purchase decisions. Organizations are becoming quite complex. We see they're reorganizing themselves, they're relooking at their business, they're going through digital transformation. And in all of these, if you kind of take a very doctrinaire approach to marketing, I think it doesn't help. I mean, you can use a framework uh, to think about the problem, but do not think about it in a linear fashion. And what marketers need to understand, that the modern toolkit actually helps you to navigate this complexity, right? Now, how you use it, I think it depends on an organization, on their strategy. But being inventive, being agile, and being flexible would always help. And the reality of product, price, promotion, place, experience, exchange, evangelism, and whatnot, it's not going to change, right? So brings back to the job to be done, right?
Yeah, or it can be like the AI tool mix. How
Yes,
much more to use, because you're right. Like as you were saying, the marketing mix it's based on the core value that goes back to your job to be done, to your persona, to your branding, to your mission statements. This is very that's where there has an impact. But after there can be an AI mix of tools that can be part of the digital transformation. That's just a thought or a new trend we're putting in place, but that could be the new thing. Yeah, thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Manuel, for this.
Thank you, Madhur. That's
thank you.
very insightful and adding value.
As always. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have a question. Someone asks, I'm not sure if is it related to the marketing topic, or we might give an advice for our audience. He asks how we can utilize using AI for a hiring process, like what Uber is doing or what Delivery Hero is doing. I think it's not the same topic we're covering now, but if you would like to reply to the question or just advise our audience, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not an HR expert, but from a marketer's point of view, I know that uh, talent attraction
Yeah.
and
Very good.
talent engagement and all these are like quite important topics that especially in the, as I mentioned, right, complexities when we are talking about great resignations, and we're talking about going back to work. And so how do you use uh, your AI marketing capabilities to build an employer brand,
Yeah, that's
right?
very
Mhm.
And
good, because the
That's great.
employer brand is part of the marketing. Like you attract the best talents and
exactly.
the best environment. And how can you use so that's why the employer's brand is part of the marketing for
Mhm.
and
yeah.
and that's why I mentioned, right, like marketing is really moving to the center of the organizational problems. And
Mhm.
I don't know if it answers this question, but like I do feel that uh, an HR person can provide those insights and data maybe to a marketer, and use the marketing toolkit to build those campaigns, to build an employer brand, because it's directly related to your business productivity, your profits, and your goals, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
I
hope
think
that was addressed.
I can add as well that based on what you said, Major, it inspires me with, for instance, IBM. I knew that they are using the AI for the salary structure for the applicants for some jobs. The AI engine who sets your salary whenever you're applying for a job there, and it's not negotiable. It's not like the typical way of getting a job offer and start negotiate your salary, but the AI engine who did this. On the other side, I was working with a client who is with building something for this, but this for a North America region. They were thinking on the culture fit concept, because this is one of the crucial things whenever we're hiring someone is not fitting the culture of the company, and
Yeah,
it's not easy to measure how this person is culture fit or not. But AI can measure this by feeding the system with a lot of details about his background, his education, his experience, and the system as well has a lot of details about the company itself. Then the AI can help you to shorten the hiring process and select the most fitting candidates for the job.
Wow. Okay. Absolutely. That sounds great. You know, it's.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a full topic to cover. It was good, like
I know.
from
AI.
the HR, yeah, HR and
AI.
Yeah.
AI. If we were missing a topic, that can be a next one, and then we can have you on the top, Manuel, to talk about the brand, the employer's brand using AI.
Happy to join
Yeah,
in.
that's interesting.
Great.
Thank you, Madhur. Thank you, Damien. It was a
Yeah,
very insightful and inspiring chat for me. That was great discussion. Thank you very much.
yeah. As always, thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It was a great discussion. You know, loved it. So
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Always like your insights and and your
Next
vision.
time we'll try another dessert, not from France. We'll try.
I tried your desserts already. I love them. So we'll find another country.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, friends.
Thank thank you
thank
guys.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.